Okay, so let's get this going. So we're going to start with some body vibrations, just kind of shaking the body, shaking the legs, getting the blood flow going and getting out of that stuck position of sitting for too long. The next movement we're going to do is some hip circles. So feet wider than shoulder width apart, and really focus on just rotating, isolating the lower back and the hips. Feel free to go counterclockwise, feel free to go clockwise. Explore all of the ranges of motion. You could do 5-10 reps in one direction and then reverse it. You could do it for time as well on any of these. Oh, I see we got a little friend. Okay, we're going to shake it all out real quick here. Next, we're going to do some breathing here. So we're going to get on our toes, drive our knees forward, open up our chest and shoulders. You're going to inhale on the opening portion here, and then a nice exhale, just to stimulate the body. Next, we're going to go into a deep squat position. So feet shoulder width apart, arms out in front. You're going to drop down as far as you feel comfortable. This might be a challenge, but do the best that you can. This here is working on internal rotation of the hips. So I'm in a deep squat position and driving my knee, doing knee taps. Feel free to use your hands for assistance. If you struggle with this, you can always use blocks on your hands as well. There you can see I'm leaning back just a little bit more, making it a bit deeper of a stretch. Next thing, we're going to be in a deep squat. We're going to do some knee taps similar to the standing one we did. We're going to open, tap our knees, and drop back. Again, this is working on stretching the bottom of our feet, opening up through the front, and working on motor control coordination. From here, we're going to continue to open up. If you need a towel because you're struggling with tightness up into the front of the legs, feel free to sit on a towel or a cushion, a pillow, as your need. And from here, we're going to work on pushing those shoulders down through the floor and lifting and driving our hips up. Again, if you find this challenging, use a cushion, or you could even put your hands on some blocks so you're not as far back, which will make it easier. Again, I'm just exploring this motion, hanging out for a second or two, opening things up. Don't worry so much about how perfect it is, just do the best that you can. You could even put a chair behind you as well to make it even higher. Put your hands on that. So I do a few more without the pillow. Here I'm just doing some around the worlds, just again getting that front of that hip open up. And then working on a few more flex knee bridges. Strengthen that back, open up the front of the chest and the hips. All right, next one we're going to go into is we're going to do a few more of the knee taps, and then we're going to move right into a long lunge with a spinal twist. So on this one, you could just start with a spinal twist if you find that challenging enough, the lunge. You could even put that back leg and drop your knee down if you find it too excessive. So any of these, you can break it down to make it a bit easier. I did this roughly 10 each side, which I found it to be actually quite a workout. So again, you could do it 30 seconds each side or 10, just getting the body moving. If it's tough in the beginning, just do a little bit less. There is no perfect answer. Just get that body moving and make some notes on how your body feels. Once we're finished with this side, we're going to go ahead and rotate and switch it over to the other side and repeat the same. You'll notice too my head is doing its best to track my hand as it goes around. And I'm also pushing my hand that's on the ground into the floor. Here I go into an A-frame position where I'm working on driving my heels down, trying to lift my butt up as high as I can. Again, feel free to soften the knees if you need to. Just really trying to open up the posterior part of the legs and the front of the shoulders. Doing a bit of marching here to focus on each side independently. You'll see me there focusing on stretching the back more, but then I soften my knees to make it a bit easier. This next one and last one is the 90-90s, which again work on hip rotation. You can see here that I'm not using my hands on the ground. I'm just trying to lift my chest up as I pivot my knees back and forth. This one here is I'm actually leaning into it using my hands as a little bit of assistance, but I'm also hip hinging once I get to the side. And again, do your best to keep your spine straight. It's not a spinal flexion movement as much as it is a hip mobility exercise. And here I'm doing it with a bit of assistance and a belly scratch. Because life gets in the way sometimes. Again, this is a great one for assistance. And that's it. Just enjoy it. Do it every couple hours if you get a chance. Doesn't have to be as long as this, but getting it done, just keep it consistent and make it pretty.